Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Between Two Pods. My name is Slade, and today I am joined by two amazing guests. I'm joined by Jon with two H's and James.
And I'm already walking out.
Podcast over. Jon. Actually,
I kid. There's no H.
Oh, thank God.
I'm not going to lie. I have to call him Jahan from now on.
What am I, Egyptian?
Guys, how are we doing tonight?
We're doing pretty good. I hate to say it, I should be finishing Final Fantasy 16, but I got pulled into Sonic Frontiers because the DLC came out, and I had to remind myself, after playing the DLC, is this game still fun? And I'm still playing it, so I'm assuming it has something. It's kind of like a drug. It's like doing drugs isn't necessarily fun. You just do them.
Hey, kids, drugs are good if it's Sonic Frontiers.
I'd much rather than play video games.
Sounds like something Sonic would endorse. Well, I'm glad we're doing good and we're on drugs tonight. Would y'all like to tell everybody a bit about yourselves and your show?
Yeah, so we're from Games with Jon and James. That is Jahan. I'm James. It's going to be a running thing for this episode. I apologize in advance to all the fans.
It's better than the Sonic Heroes singing, for the love of God.
Oh, don't worry. That might happen on this episode. I apologize in advance.
I want you to go in time and make edit notes of when to just mute him.
So Jon and I have kind of differing opinions when it comes to video games. We do have some similarities. I'm a big JRPG connoisseur. Jon is all things Sega, Sonic, more action, and we've just been having fun for a couple years doing the show. It all started because IGN created the worst possible list known to man.
To be fair to IGN, their readers/viewers created that list, and therefore it just means that everyone who goes to IGN's taste is terrible. Listen to us, kids. Do drugs and play these video games.
Well, great. This works perfectly into my first question is, where did the podcast come about? So apparently an awful IGN list?
So 2 years ago, IGN, they were doing a poll on their various social medias where fans could come in and vote for the top 64 games of all time. Okay. The bracket that broke me and made me say, you know what, we are finally doing this, even though we've talked about it for a while, was when Burnout 3 beat Chrono Trigger. Burnout 3, ladies and gentlemen.
It's not the best Burnout game either.
But it is the best racing RPG ever created. because I'd imagine these brackets have to be in the same category, which they very clearly weren't. But however, I remember us having a very heated debate over Breath of the Wild versus Final Fantasy VII. And that of course showed off how just, our intellect and our propensity for vocal violence toward each other.
That's okay. I have a question in here. I hope to spark some of that. But we'll get there when we get there. So, all right. First of all, Burnout 3, right? Burnout Paradise is like the best Burnout game, or am I wrong on that?
I'd give it to Revenge, honestly.
You give it to Revenge?
Yeah, I think Revenge, that's the first one that added traffic attack, and just knocking cars into oncoming traffic and earning a crap ton of points is just so much fun.
Revenge, I think, is the best Burnout, but honestly, unfortunately, when you've played one Burnout, you kind of played them all.
Right.
And then you have arguably the best team and best RPG, nostalgia-wise, of all time. To lose to Burnout, if I could go to IGN, I would flip a desk on their faces and be like, you turn these polls off now.
And I like the idea that you would actually rig the election of the prestigious and acclaimed IGN.
I'm just gonna have to remember that later when I'm filling out, games of the year for 2023. Gotta make sure I mention that on the Offshore Gamecast website.
Oh my God!
Gotta make sure I list that in, right? So I guess talking about these kind of lists, and obviously ranking and how good games are versus not great. To you, what makes the perfect video game? You know what I mean? Like something when you go and you play it, you're like, this is a medium all of its own. This is fantastic. Why isn't everybody playing this?
The term that I used before is called a tight script of a game, where you have all of the elements that a game has. You can have narrative, fun gameplay, well-established environments, like all the kind of stuff that's like the magic trick of video games, immersing you into a world or a narrative or story, characters, gameplay, whatever. Like Tetris is a perfect video game because it immediately grips you, and it is the most addicting thing you could possibly play, that people are still playing it and learning how to master it to this day. A game like BioShock to me is also a perfect video game because all of the elements that, you know, the world building is also part of the narrative, and like the mystery toward the end leading up to the twist ending between who the real villain is and who you are as a character. And it's so well woven into the background of the character interactions you have that you don't see it coming, and it truly just hits you. And on top of that, it's just fun to shoot lightning out of your hands or throw bees at people. So I think it has to have something novel, like a unique selling point of some kind, do it incredibly well, and then not wear out its welcome, because some games are just too damn long.
Yes.
I feel like that was a jab at me. No offense taken, John.
Because everybody knows you write the video games. You write the video games you love.
Well, I mean, one of my favorite games is like a 200-hour game in Ark the Lad 2. So, I mean...
Well, I mean, if the dialogue serves a purpose and is interesting and engaging, like, that's fine. But, like, when, you know... like when you go to like the side quest where the shopkeeper is like, you know, hey, I dropped a ring down on a chute. Can you just grab it for me? Oh, thank you. That doesn't enhance the world with story. It's just busy work. Like, go find me these 5 grapes. It's like, shut up.
So, like, my bread and butter is the JRPG genre, and in 2023, the tropes are there. Like, a lot of things are overplayed, they're overhashed, and for me, what kind of separates it is when you kind of get that gravitas of the situation. Even though I am not a fan of Final Fantasy VI, it's my least favorite one of the entire franchise, but Kefka poisoning the water, killing an entire population, him getting to rearrange statues and basically destroy the world, and you come back 3 years later like, maybe now we should do something. Like, you have to keep me
just chilling
engaged.
in their houses, they're just watching this happen outside. Just like,
you just see it on the news, and you're like, damn, somebody should do something.
This just
I
in.
didn't work today.
This just in on the Moogle Stock Network. Please buy the land.
I say, could the guy who suplexed that ghost train do something about the evil clown destroying the world, please?
Like, you have to. JRPGs can be very long-winded. You look at Dragon Quest VII, Dragon Quest VIII, you look at even Final Fantasy XII. Sometimes they really do overstay their welcome. So you have to give people what they want. Like, Disgaea is my favorite series of all time, and that game is literally infinite with whatever you want to do within that within the realm of that series. But they keep it in a point where it's nice, quoting John here, tightly scripted, and you have everything you need. You give the fans all the ridiculousness they want with JRPGs, which nowadays seems to be endless side quests and fishing. And
who doesn't like a fishing minigame?
There's even fishing in the new Sonic game, for God's sake.
Hey,
well,
look,
okay,
see,
hang on. That's because of Big the Cat.
Thank you.
That's because of Big the Cat in what was that, Sonic Adventure 2?
Sonic Adventure 1, yes. He was the fishing game. Like, I'm not besmirching, I'm not like, looking to gift horse in the mouth. It's fun to do that fishing game and pretty much just break the game by being able to trade tokens for like all your power-up items, but whatever.
So, like, it can be that. Or, on the flip side, you could have Conker's Bad Fur Day, which I will die on the hill is the best party game of all time.
Yeah, the literal... there are stories on our show where we talk about the literal pissing contests we've had.
That's... Because, I think it's Mario Party is, like, the best party game.
Which one, though?
Mario...
I'll fight you in any of them. Let me be clear. I have all of them. I will fight you in any of them.
And I think the composer for Chrono Trigger actually did some of the music for Mario Party games, so there you go.
Yep. Look at that. See? Full circle. I mean, hey, Chrono Trigger... One of their songs was in the Olympics. Enough said.
This is true.
Remember during the 2020 Olympics and the American team walked in and then Pac-Man Fever started playing? That was amazing.
Oh, nice. So, move on a little bit more about your podcast real quick. One of the things I'd like to know is, what's a game that you really want to cover, but you just like haven't had the time to do it yet, or you two, or one of y'all is just like, no, I don't want to do that?
I think we try to differentiate and try to explore as much as we can. Like we've had big like blue ocean, blue sky topics where we talk about like the future of gaming, or we've had episodes like fallen franchises, like where's the new Mega Man game, or we even did one on Final Fantasy where it's like, you know, not necessarily a fallen franchise, but you know, not clickbait. So in terms, I think,
Fantasy, is it over? You know,
is it over, or is it just Devil May Cry with the swear words? But I think we're really open when it comes to just what we can actually discuss. I don't think there's been anything off the table. What do you think?
No, I mean, we literally did a junk drawer episode talking about 1980s golden era muscle wrestling, for crying out loud.
We talked about wrestling. We talk about like all sorts of stuff. So I think as long as it's fun and
a
interesting.
graded copy of Sonic Heroes.
It's on, you know, it's on the same shelf I keep my copy of Knuckles Chaotix and Sonic CD and my autographed Sonic Adventure. So you made the shelf.
No topics really off limits. We'll talk about everything, even if it like sometimes we'll do relevant news. We just recently did an episode on Microsoft's digital console coming out, Unity trying to screw developers and then backpedaling like, no, be nice to us.
Like just like everything in gaming, like they try to do one thing and then they immediately see the backlash and like, uh-oh. It's like baseball. It's like everything will change at the same time, nothing will change.
Right.
I will say a game I do want to cover, and you guys are hearing it first on this show, so please tune over in if you want to hear this madness. Quest 64.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. That's an odd choice, but you know, it's for gaming history though, it's a good choice.
It is arguably one of the worst RPGs ever made. Like, I will wholeheartly admit, but when it came out and I had limited access to video games while living in Turkey because my dad was Air Force, I played the living hell out of that game. It was crazy.
Okay, and now I have to pitch the episode around Christmas time where we talk about Joshua and the Battle of Jericho for the Sega Genesis, because I had that game.
You strike me as somebody who would have that game.
I could tell, you know what? We'll save it for the Christmas episode, so stay tuned, folks.
It's going to be a great unwrapping of an episode.
We're going to talk about Quest 64 and Joshua. The two games, are they similar? No, absolutely not.
Well, before we go too deep and any more of the y'all, is there any indie podcasters y'all like to give a quick shout out to?
I may.
Yeah, go ahead. Whoever you'd like to say hello to. And
I
then,
want to
if they forget you, they don't like you.
Well, I kind of already knew that already, but I want to give a big shout out to the podcast Pretend Friends. It's run by a game designer by the name of Kevin Cole, and who makes a tabletop RPG type podcast where they just make these insane stories with insane fun characters, and they're on season 4 right now. I've just been marathoning that for like years now, and I thoroughly enjoy the content, so I love that.
Honestly, everybody. So John and I, and even you, were part of that co-op podcast collective, right?
Yes.
Everyone there is amazingly welcoming. We've been fortunate enough to be guests on Between Two Gamers. We've had Bill from the Gaming and Collecting podcast on. I've worked with Aaron from Superpod because I was being a maniac and doing a top 10 JRPG list per console.
Oh my god!
It's
Mad
really
Man.
awesome because
No, I was just trying to think about how short the Sega Genesis list was.
hey, you know what? Vectrex, how short that list would be.
Is it even a console?
I mean, it's a console with its own TV. Here you go.
The RPGs on the Odyssey were just amazing.
Hey, we still have to go to Pennsylvania to go actually play that fully recreated Odyssey. I think it's like
stop by
Penn
Philly.
State.
Yeah, grab ourselves a cheesesteak and then head on over to the university.
But everybody within that collective is amazingly friendly, just so awesome. And then through that collective, John and I have been very fortunate to work. So they are fastly growing. They're becoming one of the biggest live streamers on TikTok. Quit the Build, their network. Right. We actually write articles for them, and a lot of people within the co-op collective have had that opportunity to get their voices out even more. So it's really rare you get such a nice community that is trying to help bolster everybody, because at the end of the day, a lot of us can be like, it's my show. I want to grow my show. I got to focus on me, or I got to do it alone. And like to quote John from a conversation earlier today, like, it's about networking. If you don't network, this is the worst uphill battle, because the internet is saturated with people like us, from YouTube to Spotify and everything in between. So it's been awesome.
I mean, it's an entire other industry, for God's sake. So like you can tell that there are so many people out there, and I'm talking like, the Mr. Beasts out there who collaborate with people who I'm pretty sure they don't even know or care about. So you might as well get to know some people that you actually want to be around, talk to them, and you work in each other's favor. So surround yourself with people you actually want to talk to. I think that'd be the best advice to give, unsolicited, but there you go. Also, this is why I let James also do all of the shilling and the pimp our podcast.
I am a giant whore for Games with Jon and James.
Can we just cut that out of context forever? Just I am a giant whore. That'd be perfect.
I will give you that for a ringtone. This way, every time he texts you,
every time my phone rings, instead of hearing the Imperial March from Star Wars, I'll hear that.
I mean, it also gave us Bill from the Gaming and Collecting Podcast, who is a bigger Sonic nut than John, with more Sonic knowledge that I never thought was possible.
I think we're on the same level. You know what I mean? It's like two people can share the crown. Come on.
You got actually at least 5 times on that episode, and even you in the actually you were just like, oh yeah, oh. Bill trumps you.
It doesn't. First off, how dare you invoke his name? Second, like, I think at the end of it, when I said I know Sonic's Christian name, I think that was the one where it's just like, all right, I'm going to walk away knowing that I'm on top of this.
It's okay. It's okay to admit you're number 2.
My Sonic knowledge is not very deep. The most Sonic that I know is about Sonichu and Christian, and that's a whole different can of worms.
Have you searched your name and found your Sonic character yet?
Unfortunately, I have.
It reminds me of another game that I used to play where it was called Time Till Wolf, where like you go onto deviantart.com and you just type your name, and then you scroll down the deviations, the submissions for other people, until you see a wolf Sona.
The furry community is a whole different can of worms that I don't want to touch.
It's a vibrant and active and very accepting community. It, just like everybody else, it has jerks in there, but it's been like a thing on our show where it's just like, I will never say anything bad about the furry community. I just can't.
My best friend's one, and I always antagonize him about it.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
They are interesting people. There are some people that take it too far.
Yes.
But for the most part, they're all really jovial. The ones that take it too far, though, please stop. You heard it here.
Well, that's the same with any community. It's always the people who take it too far. They're the ones who ruin it every single time. And you could say that for almost everything. That's why nobody wanted to admit being an anime fan in like the early 2000s, because you were associated with the kid Naruto running. You didn't want to be a part of that.
No one wants to be a part of that. Also, I just want to let people know that to all my brethren out there, when the revolution happens, Jon and Slade protect us. James is the one with the target on his back.
Hey, I said the community overall was awesome. It's the weird outliers, and I'm going to quote one. I've never seen a person get furry checked before until this happened. I used to play Magic the Gathering competitively. I traveled with Star City Games, Grand Prix, you name it. I was a manic nut.
Right.
And at one instance, there was a little mini furry con going on. And this one dude was checking everybody trying to come into the convention center because we had to go to the tournament side, and then this was going on in a separate part of the convention center.
Right.
And when I say check, he was trying to deny entry to anybody who would not accept furries by kissing him. No.
No.
No, no, no. No, 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 no.
That's when you break out the weeaboo paddle and you start beating the crap out of him.
So, to like the best part of this, and thank you for sparking this memory. They just all get jumbled together.
You're welcome.
Three other furries came out, apologized to everybody in their fursonas, and literally you see them underhook arms, grab feet, and walk him back in. And you just see a bunch of Magic nerds just looking over like, what the heck just happened? Why are we glued into this? And then the furries invaded the Magic tournament, and it was very priceless humor because some people who play Magic are very introverted and don't know how to interact with people, and you just saw them head explode with the furries and actually dive into interacting. It was the most hilarious tournament I've ever been a part of.
It's when they see them in the costumes, they disassociate from humans, where it's just all like, I can talk to a dog, I can talk to a wolf man.
So, with the next question I have for you, if you could co-host an episode with any two people, who are you picking? Now, little caveat on that, it doesn't have to be another indie podcaster, like myself or Bill. But if you could pick two people to co-host something with, who are you picking?
Any two people in the world.
Any two people. They could be dead, alive, fictional. Who
Dead people can't talk very much, so I don't know.
Hey, we can do a seance.
Well, you can do a video podcast and treat it like Weekend at Bernie's, just rig up something to make them nod up and down or whatever.
Hey,
Live from hell.
Look, we'll get a Ouija board and we'll just have it like gravitate towards yes and no, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, current right now, and everybody can roast me for this, current right now, Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift, come on the show. So I'm a diehard Chiefs fan, and my wife converted me into a Swiftie. So one, I want to pick her brain on just, if you look at the music industry, she's the music industry today. So you look at sales, you look at tours, you look at the effect that she's had on artists, from Billie Eilish to metal singers who are acknowledging that they followed their dreams, seeing her basically get lambasted for a while, especially with the whole Kanye Kim fiasco. And then I'm a diehard Chiefs fan ever since 1997. My dad took me to a Chiefs game, so I've been hooked ever since. Having Travis Kelce and then just getting a random "all right now" would be hilarious, and he just seems like a fun time. That's my modern take. Now, video game take, like Nobuo Uematsu.
Okay.
And you give me Sakaguchi. I will die in heaven with those two as my guests. And I'm not going to do any explanations, because you should know, if you're a JRPG listener, that those two are like the gods of gods of gods of gods of the JRPG genre. Having them on your show, your head would explode, your body would implode, and the entire time you'd just be like,
I was about to say, would it even be a good podcast? Are you going to be too starstruck to talk to them?
I would do 5 minutes of fangirling and complimenting them, and then I would hit them really hard with, why haven't you fully partnered again to give us better games? And then they would probably just delete the show.
And then they would frickin' light up like Hayao Miyazaki and just be all like, art is pain.
All right.
That killed all momentum.
No, you're good. John, what are your two? I got distracted by a fly, to be honest. My ADHD brain cannot hold it together for like a minute.
And Taylor Swift. Like, I saw when I mentioned that name, you literally like leaned back in your seat like you were trying to abort your own show.
Just because her music's awful.
Oh!
Her music's awful.
Granted, I have the weirdest eclectic taste. I can go from listening to that to listening to Earth, Wind, and Fire to everything in between. Throw in some Prodigy, you name it. Like, my music taste is just
we'll get she'll break up with them eventually. There'll be another album, and it is what it is.
Hey, she's going to be the first artist to be a true billionaire just on music alone, and I am here for it.
I just want to know what the fly was saying to distract you so much.
It landed like near my eye. That's really what like, y'all can see it on camera, but it got like right here, and that's when I got like knocked my head back.
I see. So much like James, I'll have two responses for this. So one, just kind of out of the blue, just to sit down and talk to this person would be amazing. Logic.
Oh, that's
a
good choice.
I would love to talk to Logic, just not only because I've read his book, I loved all his music and all that kind of stuff, and we could just nerd out about video games and stuff, which would be great. It'd be cool to pick his brain about like talking to J.J. Abrams about like writing scripts and stuff, or how it was like, what it was like to go and be in The Last of Us Part 2 and like do all the mocap and acting for that. It'd be just kind of cool to, you know. I'm actually in his Discord, so if I actually subscribe, I could probably get a call with him. But anyway, no. Oh my God, if that actually happens, I'm going to say, hey man, want to be on the show? But
that would be our best episode ever, bar none.
It would probably be the most listened to, potentially. But and then like the gamer side of things, if I could have anybody on as a guest, honestly, Hideo Kojima.
Oh, that'd be a good one.
Yeah, Hideo Kojima, another guy who, like, I've followed his career, I've read his books, played almost all of his games. There was a stint of time where I was going through some health issues, and I actually read through his recent book, which was just basically a whole bunch of recommendations and kind of like the things that made me. And a couple of the stories and stuff that he recommended in his book, I was sitting there just all like, oh man, like we're cut from the same cloth creativity wise. So it'd be cool to, again, just kind of pick his brain and be like, what leads to all of the eccentricities that you put in every single one of your games? Like, what leads to these types of things being implemented, you know?
Right.
Or how he could, like, you know, you put out games nowadays and they become so lost in the kind of shuffle of stuff, whereas you go back and play a game like Metal Gear Solid 2 and it feels like it came out yesterday.
Right. That'd be a great conversation.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, yeah, he'd just be somebody interesting to pick his brain.
Mm-hmm. It's like, what's Norman Reedus like? He's okay.
He does have like a weird, like, I don't even know how to describe their relationship between the two of them. It's like him and what's his name, Jeff Keighley, do a podcast together.
Oh my God, the Dorito Pope himself. You know, I get him on there too. Maybe he could be like, I don't know, like why is the Game Awards? What happened to Chick Hydrobot? I want to know what happened to him.
So, on this as well, we have two people, you know, that you want to co-host, but your absolute dream guest to have on. This isn't a co-host, you know, like for a whole new podcast or whatever. Just a dream guest. Would you still pick one of these people that you picked for a co-host, or do you have somebody else in mind?
So wait, so is the question like a new co-host or just a guest?
A guest, not a co-host.
Guest.
So
okay.
This is a guest spot.
So for me, so my favorite author, I'm going to randomly tangent into books, is a man by the name of Terry Goodkind. Wrote the Sword of Truth series, and just the way he writes it, like the prose and alliteration in that book, keeps you hooked. When the last book in the first series, before he was able to branch away from fully building the world, when the last book came out, got off work, because I had purchased it at a Books A Million. This was in Destin, Florida, when I was working at Bass Pro Shops. I sat in my car for 7 hours just reading that book, and then I was like, oh crap, I have to be to work at 8 a.m. Well, looks like I'm sleeping in my car tonight.
Oh God.
Having him on there just to, like, his world building is just phenomenal, and then the history and the lore within his world that he puts in there, like, I would love to have him as a guest. Unfortunately, he passed away, so this is a past tense guest.
Right. I mean, that's fine. You pick anybody you want to.
But just having him there, I can't tell you how many times I have read that series. Like, we have comfort games. Like, I play Chrono Trigger once a year for my grandpa. He's the reason I got into JRPGs. He went out, purchased that game, and, like, because I was being a little jackass of a 10-year-old. And
as 10-year-olds do.
Yep, exactly, you know. And he, like, asked around, found that game, like, what would be a good, like, longer game to play, and I just got hooked on RPGs from that. So that's like my tribute to my grandfather. That's my comfort game I go back to. That book series is my comfort book series. And it's so rare you have someone like a Hideo Kojima or a Sakaguchi, like, or even Miyamoto, like people who have just such a profound influence within their medium that sitting down with them and like kind of getting all of that would just be like the cream of the crop for me.
Right. John, who's your dream guest?
I would say the two that I mentioned would also be great guests as well. But honestly, as I started thinking about it, one of my dreams ever since I was a younger man was to do voice acting of any kind, because I'm always good at impressions. I have a really, really great range. I can act pretty well with my voice or whatever. So that was always like a dream that I tried to do. And I got to do it for a little bit, actually, narrating slideshows for a teaching tool company. There's even, I was actually thinking about this today, I swear to God, a long time ago, back when you would do auditions for like message boards, people are like, hey, I need a voice for my school project or something, and you could audition for that stuff. Somebody actually gave me the role of these two characters in an Oblivion mod, and I think the trailer is still on YouTube, so I might see if I can download that tonight, because I think I have Oblivion on my PC.
You should share that.
I absolutely
on the Twitter,
should.
And that would be awesome.
Like blast from the 20 years in the past. Holy crap. But on that note, with me always trying to pursue voice acting and me going to conventions to try and pick the brains of voice actors and really just try to, network and market and all that kind of fun stuff, I would want to have as a guest Steve Bloom.
Okay.
Because I want to basically remind him that I met him once at a convention, and I got to speak for him for all of 5 minutes before some big old nerd just came up and was like, "Oh my God, it's Tom from Toonami. What's up, man?" And like just stepped over. I tell this story all the time. I was polite. I was just like, "Hello, like it's a pleasure to meet you, sir." And it's like, "Oh, please don't be before so formal." It's like, and just as I was about to ask, like, "Hey, man, like I'm a voice actor too. I've been working for about 3 years, and I just, I don't want to take up all your time." Like I was trying to do this the right way, and then this big old sweaty nerd just came in and stomped all over any potential conversation I could have with this man. And I'm just like, I would just love to pick this man's brain. Also, tangentially related, because he was on a Logic album, and I'd be like, what was it like working with Logic?
See, Logic, great musician. Mm-hmm. Excellent, I would say.
Yeah, and big nerd, too. So when he invited freaking Lil Yachty on stage to play Mario Kart, like, who does that?
Oh, that's excellent. If we were going to show off your podcast, what's one episode you'd like to use as an example?
Ooh, shoot. James, you start with that one, because there's a part of me that has to like do a deep dive. I'm going to look at our episodes.
Do you not remember episodes at all? Like, what goes on in that brain of yours?
Alcohol. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. So, honestly, our first anniversary episode that we did, it was super fun to answer the questions. We got some normalized gaming questions to a weird love triangle between Bowser, Mario, and Peach. That was ridiculous to answer. Thanks to my old boss for that one. Like, that would be a good episode. Honestly, solo episode that I've done was in regards with Final Fantasy V, Final Fantasy Tactics. Like, those episodes I really love. I'm a huge proponent on job systems in video games. I am a sucker for them. And when they're done right, it is just so much fun. Or one of our very first episodes, we actually tailoring it, like bookending it back into this episode, we did an episode on perfect video games.
Okay. That was like our second. That was our second episode. Yeah.
Yep. Those would be mine. Or whenever I started finally singing Sonic Heroes.
I told you could mute him anytime. Not even looking up from my phone. I'm just like, I'm disappointed in you, James.
Look, I expected you to like turn and look something. No. I mean, that counts.
I wish I could hate you to death.
Sign a good co-host, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is how you know we're friends.
Roger Craig Smith, another guest, or a replacement. Games with John and Roger. Anyway. But I'd say my favorite episode, going through the list, honestly, it was one from this year where we reviewed the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Oh, you
I
mean
hate that
you
movie.
Hated with an unbridled passion.
I do not like that movie at all.
I will give you a quote. That movie was pandering and it was horrible. It was made for 5-year-olds. I hated this thing and I want my money back.
I was when Bowser started singing the Peaches song, there was a part of me, it's like, it's 1:00 in the morning, I'm gonna walk out of this theater. Like, and I even say it in the episode. Like, I set myself up to have a great time. I was excited to see this freaking movie. Illumination, I've got kind of beef with them because as a studio, I just think that everything they do is terrible and cheap, but whatever. I went to a nice restaurant, I got myself a nice drink, and I was just all geared up to go and see this movie and be the first to see it because I didn't want reviewers, like, tainting my perceptions of it. I didn't want other people's opinions tainting my perceptions of it or change anything with my mindset going into it. I wanted to experience it the way I wanted to, and as I was watching it, I was like, oh no.
John doesn't like fun things. That's what I want you to get. Like,
apparently
to
not, because see, first of all, I'm a Peaches song stan. I love it.
Are we about to break out into the Peaches song?
I will walk away. I will walk away. Do not do that. Do not join him. I would rather hear Sonic Heroes again. Oh my god, I said that out loud.
I'll tell you, you know what? While we're here being a little contrarian, do y'all want my little contrarian question?
All right, hit us.
I feel like this is the one tailored towards me. I'm ready for this.
You think digital or physical?
Huh. Feels like we just talked about this.
It does, because here's the thing. I've been mostly digital since the 360.
Oh, damn.
I wanted a discless 360. I wanted a discless Xbox One. I've been buying digital games for a very long time. I'm a big PC player, and I think it's that, right? I think it's a console thing to want physical media, and like PC players, we just don't get it.
So,
is that flyback? Is
no, yeah. And I would like to squish it. Hang on, I'm gonna go grab a flip flop real quick. This is staying in the episode. Give me a hot second. I'm gonna pause the recording. Yes.
Awesome.
It is dead.
We just witnessed a murder.
It's a moida.
I should have left that on because that smack was probably really loud.
It was a good smack. You could use it as Foley. Get a soundboard or something, just like blow in the house.
That's the sound of the smack that goes to John's face for absolutely hating one of the better video game movies ever.
Right.
I don't care. I don't care if it made $1 billion. All that money can go straight to hell for all I care. Just don't make a sequel.
It turned out better than I thought it would, to be honest. I
was expecting garbage, but I didn't expect it to be boring. I just did not have fun.
Oh.
So legitimately, you can't show anything fun to John. He is just a buzzkill with it.
If you get me one of those those cup and strings, I'll play with it for hours.
Yes,
what are you talking about?
Russia.
Yeah. So to bring it back for our digital versus physical, I think this is a console and collecting thing, because I don't have a collection quite like you or Bill. I do have, and my collection's pretty much done.
So
I have nothing else that I want, but like I have one physical two physical Nintendo Switch games, and I probably have 60 games on it.
Damn.
Everything's digital. I bought a Series S over the X because I don't need the disc. I don't want it.
So
you don't want the extra 12 teraflops? Damn.
So it's always going to be physical for me. I'm a big proponent of people being able to own what they enjoy, because eventually license can run out, just get screwed.
Right.
Now, does that happen often? No, I'll acknowledge it. It doesn't. But it is a potential risk. Right. I also feel that without physical being there, and if it was a digital only medium, it's very anti-consumer friendly, because your stores like GameStop, pawn stores, your retro stores, you can take advantage of sales. John and I have a real good friend in San Antonio. If you ever find yourself there, Flashback Video Games, man named Henry.
Those are the horns.
Legit best prices on anything you can ever want, and he's our friends, so let him know. One of the really cool things that he remember when we found that the Sega CD, the weird
the
one,
the CDX, yeah, I remember that.
And he dropped it was 120 off.
Yeah, he was a really cool dude with that, but money troubles aside, I had to actually sell it back to him. But this guy is the guy who will I've been on the debate of physical versus digital stuff. For me, I have an entire it's off screen, but you see my HD TV back there. But that's where all my old HDMI consoles are plugged into, and then right across from it is a Wii, Sega Saturn, Dreamcast, the Sega Tower, a PS2, like all sorts of stuff. And I just got like an Xbox too, so I'm just like, okay, yeah, like I care about that stuff.
And I get that because, like, so if you go into my living room, which is obviously not the room I'm recording in, but if you go in there, you'll see like an SNES and NES. There's like a shelf in the living room that is nothing but like because I was not a Sega kid, I'm a Nintendo kid, but it, all that
Nobody's
stuff
perfect.
is in there. My 64, but
Look, I'm sorry, we're not edgelords like you, John.
all that's there though. But my thing is, it's convenience is really why I want the digital. I think it's convenience is the biggest thing. The fact that I don't have to like swap things out.
Yes.
And I can just click a button. Now, when I was listening to your recent episode on this, and I hate to interrupt your thought, but like Steam sales exist.
So yeah, I mean, Steam sales. So sales like that exist. So I can't fully knock digital. I mean, I played WoW from 2004 to 2011, then switched gears to Heroes of New Earth, League of Legends, into Heroes of the Storm. Playing Magic the whole time while doing that, and then finally got back into consoles in the PS4 so it missed out a whole bunch, right?
Right.
There is convenience there, and there's going to be some sales there, wholeheartedly, but it's not going to be it's not going to be just the level of competition / keeping each other honest, because everybody knows you can go to Walmart, say Starfield came out here recently for the Xbox. Walmart had it $10 off first week, like they always do. It's a great way to save money. Like, I get to take advantage. So I'm in the military, like GameStop and quite a few places, they offer military discounts. So I'm already saving that way as well. Not everybody gets that. So a big box retailer doing that, that's awesome. Steam sales, like I'll give digital like the biggest credit of, if you are a big fan of indies or anything else, like just the sheer amount of volume of games that come out on Steam, that if you're in an itch of, I want to play a random horror game based about a blob named Ted. Don't know if that's out there. Could be. You can literally go to Steam, probably pick it up for $1, right?
Right.
To kind of lend more of an actual place in reality for that anecdote, James. So physical media versus digital media. One of my favorite games of all time is Killer 7.
Right.
And Killer 7, phenomenal game, most crazy off the wall type of Goichi Suda type of game you'd ever want to play. And for the longest time ever, the only way you could ever play it is on a PS2 or a GameCube. That's it. Then you see it on Steam and you're like, oh, so now suddenly an entire other world of people can experience this crazy off-the-wall insanity, and it's in like 4K. Cool, I'll do that. Like, there's convenience and there's pros and cons on both sides. I think physical media is for stuff that you actually want to display, and like the cool thing about physical media, especially back in the day, was that like it came with like box art, instruction manuals and stuff, or collectibles, or something that basically made it an asset or something to just enjoy about the physical media. Case in point. But like, so I look at my Switch and I have a bunch of digital games on there as well, and I'm like, I wouldn't want like a boxed copy of Ninja Striker that I bought for like $2, or the Kill la Kill game I bought for $2. Like, I don't care about that stuff. Like, but if I want Tears of the Kingdom or Breath of the Wild, or games that just genuinely even aren't available on those services, or even services that went down, like The Completionist, Gerard Khalil on YouTube did a whole video this year about the Wii U and 3DS eShops shutting down, and like now so many of those games that are going to be just lost media forever now, because the company's just like gone.
Right. And I'm a full supporter of, like, if the company's not supporting it or anything anymore, that it should be free to pirate, and just set up as abandonware. That's the other half of this. But I don't know, because I've been digital only for so long that it's, and my collection for what I'm nostalgic for game-wise, it's complete.
It serves different people and their different tastes in different ways. Like, for me, like, I'll never be able to maybe own a SNES copy of Wild Guns, but I can own a digital copy of it, emulated copy of it, or I can buy the re-release of Reloaded for the Switch that has Doris in it. Doris rocks.
Right.
But
it's a little give and take on both sides, right? Like, ultimately, I want people to collect. Like, my biggest pet peeve is when people are like, screw you, digital's bad, only do physical, or screw you, physical's bad, only do digital. Like,
what you're saying is that there are bad people on many sides.
There are. Like, at the end of the day, collect how you want to collect. Me personally, I still want there to be a variety. I don't recommend everybody getting every JRPG ever created. No. That is an insane collection of mine. Please don't do it. But at the same time, emulate. Go on Steam, get it digitally. There's a place for everything. I just want there to be that option for people, because every time something fully gets taken away, bad tends to happen when it comes to sports, when it comes to media, when it comes to any medium. If you take an option away from people, it can suck. So please, for at least one more generation, let's keep physical.
I also think that, like, some companies are really good about game preservation lately. Valve is a great example. They do, in their Steam sales, you can get like everything they've ever made for like $5, and that's
I did that recently, and I have a Steam Deck, so I'm like, sweet, now I can play Half-Life 2 on the go.
Yeah, you can play literally, and that even's like the original Day of Defeat, and nobody plays that anymore. It has a couple servers active. You don't need it, but again, it's everything, and that's digital game preservation, I suppose you could call that.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't as hot button as I thought it would be. It's more of a civil conversation. I'm disappointed in you two. That's
I say just to have us talk about Final Fantasy 16, because my God,
you can die in a fire, John.
What? You didn't even know what I said.
We talked about it, and all right, you all get it here. So thanks, Slade, for having us here, because Game Club, you all are about to get this. John was literally like,
great.
This game is pulling every other JRPG. Like, I don't want to walk in town to go here. I don't want to go and do this. And prior to that, John was literally like, this is the most I've enjoyed a JRPG in a long time. And now he's backtracking because...
I'm not backtracking. The game is basically pulling off the mask. Okay, imagine you're reading a book and you have to walk across your living room to turn the page in a book. Like, what's the point? Just have things happen. What are towns for? Like, what are you even doing in, like, your home base? Like, you go collect some freaking fabric for some kids' dresses? It's like, why not just have a freaking thing happen in town if that's so freaking important?
You don't have to do the side quests. Just go beat the story if that's all you care about.
Okay, cool. Then why have them at all?
Well, because if you do the side quest, you get access to really awesome things that help you out, because you should.
Because
and
the game is so easy that you can just roll right through and it doesn't matter. Wow.
These side quests you may not like. If you stick through it, like I know you, this is a big if for you, you actually get completed story beats that you never would have, and plot holes get closed, and answers get given that you might not ever have gotten. So they actually have these leading to very positive, story rewarding events.
In order for it to be rewarding, the story and plot and characters have to be interesting.
You literally said these characters were interesting. You enjoyed the plot. Are you backtracking now? What are you, just
Joshua
contrarian?
And Clive are the two people I care about the most, because you are them in the game, and it's the central, point of contention across the entirety of the game. So I care about that. I don't care about, like who's the bitch who teaches you about monsters and stuff. Like, where'd she even come from? And second, why do I care? It's like, suddenly I gotta go talk to you to go look at a cutscene where a bunch of things move across a map. Why don't I just go to the thing that's happening? Like,
I will give you credit.
This is the reason why Uncharted was like is the game that kind of set everything in motion of what games should be. A nice 10 to 12 hour story, like a narrative that has a unique gameplay mechanics, unique locations, and everything else. Every game should be like that. Just do things that are fun and interesting and have it wrap up. Just do it.
I will give you credit.
Hit my desk.
Look, I'm going to give you credit here. The game came out in June, and you are actually still playing it and have not given up on it. So I'm going to give you the best praise I can give you. Thank you for sticking with a JRPG, which is better than all the games you play.
I have beaten, at least I actually enjoy playing the games I play.
I enjoy them quite well, unless it's like really crappy ones, like Zenjin. When we were in Maine and I bought Zenjin, I was like, oh, this is cool. It might be like Hades. I can't get enough of Hades. If any of you own the game Zenjin, you can mail it to me. I will send you a video of me putting it through a paper shredder. And then I will also send you a video of me setting fire.
That is like book burning. How dare you?
To all of it. It is the worst game I have played in recent memory. And I've played some really bad games. I enjoy Shaq Fu, for crying out loud.
Well,
Send me your copies as engines so I can destroy them.
Oh, there it is. That's all I wanted between you two. There's always the
reconciliation.
This isn't like in my list of questions or anything, but I don't know if you've ever tried this, but if you have a large group of people and you want to divide them really quickly, and depending on how you are, you either ask your close friends or just whoever this, but do you wipe your butt sitting down or standing up?
Standing up.
What?
I like to do a handstand and then just like have my dip my butt over my face.
Do you wipe your butt sitting down or standing up? You'd be surprised at like 50-50's a room of people pretty quickly. It's a really... I'm a sitter, so...
No, I've got such a fat ass that I have to stand up.
Are you a... Well, here's the real question. Are you a scruncher or are you a sheet folder?
Sheet folder.
Who scrunches like a freaking maniac? That's disgusting. What I used to do is like roll joints with the toilet paper.
Ah, yes. The poo-poo. It's going to smell so great on my smoke.
That's the Grey Poupon, right?
I didn't smoke it first, but it did get pretty dank.
So, to get back into the questions. Wait, actually, James, you didn't answer that.
Oh, sitting.
Sitting? There you go. I divided the two of you again.
Actually, no. It's 2 against 1.
Oh, that's true. This is 2 against 1.
Yeah, we just bullied
I'm
John.
not gonna die on the hill of how I shit. Okay, like if I'm gonna die on any hill, it's gonna be that like Japan needs to freaking step it up with how they actually write their video games.
We're gonna move on from that one before a big fight starts. If you were going to podcast about anything else completely unrelated to what you do now, what's the topic? What are we talking about?
Sports.
Sports?
So. I mentioned it on my show. Whenever I finish, like whenever I've gotten that, if you do too many JRPGs, or if you're a madman like I was, I played Breath of the Wild all the way through, got all the shrines, into Tears of the Kingdom immediately, because it was just coming out, no breaks, got all the shrines and all the other goodies in that. Like, you need a break. Everybody has their game that they can go and unwind, and for me, it's Madden. I love all things NFL. I love NFL statistics, NFL feel-good stories. I love the history behind it.
Right.
I played football up till college. I still do flag football on the installation here. I would do semi-pro if there was a semi-pro team here. Right. Love football, love basketball. Like, I would do a podcast about that, or wrestling.
See, I live here in the lovely state of Alabama, who, down here in
Roll
the SEC.
Tide!
Wrong team. War Eagle.
Goddamn War
Look at his door.
Yeah.
Well, it's Alabama. It's either...
It's a 50-50 shot, to be honest. But, living down here in the SEC country, I mean, football doesn't get better, to be honest. Especially for college football, it doesn't get better.
100%.
I come from Oregon, where it's all about the Ducks and Robo-Duck when he hatched out of the giant egg.
I'm glad that y'all got our problem child of a quarterback, too. So, John, what are we talking about instead of video games?
Honestly, I'd talk about music.
Okay.
Yeah, I would talk about like any genre of music, anything that even comes close to just my own interest, because I think similar to James, I have a very eclectic taste when it comes to it, whether it comes from like the blackest of black metal all the way down to like country that I listened to when I was a kid with my dad. So it's, I would talk about like hip hop, I would talk about like pop music or the music industry, or just even picking musicians' brains to kind of, understand. Because I would say, not to toot my horn here, but like I'm a creative person, and I've been trying for the past like 15 years to make some like mark on the internet, whether it's through my illustrative work, my comic work, my podcasting work, my streaming work, or of any type whatsoever. And I can understand that kind of creative struggle and the creative process in the midst of all of that. So it would just really, really, really nice to be surrounded by other artists that, can talk about that stuff.
Be a lot
So,
of
fun thing for you, John. You remember, so since you mentioned music, sorry, you sparked a really... Remember when I was super high on that Tom's Diner cover by Annan May Cantorit and Giant Rooks? Like, the man who sings with the soul. If you have not listened to this, Slade, I'm going to send you the link in chat here or in Discord, wherever. This man who sings this cover sings with the soul of 50 black men smoking 100 cigarettes a day.
All right.
When you hear him like go into it, it's just like, huh, I'm a dude. I might be pregnant.
And the guy looks like John Mulaney. Like what?
Have you not listened to that cover either?
No, you sent it to me. I remember it really vaguely. It was a while ago.
Oh ho, oh ho ho ho, oh ho ho, oh.
No, we're not playing it now. So
No, I'm not playing
it later.
Like,
No,
why? No, I'm not gonna play it now. That would be like the weirdest thing ever. But what I can do.
So what you're saying is you like it when dudes sing to you, and it's just like, panty dropper music.
Oh no, he was in Utah, and I actually got to speak with him because he went to FanX, and this is for you, BioShock is his favorite game of all time, and he's going to be in the local area, so I am going to shoot my shot when I see him, and I'm going to ask for him to be a guest on the show.
Hell yeah, we can talk plasmids. Like, what you mixing? What's your cocktail?
And I'm going to try and get him to sing I'm going to try and get him to sing Sonic Heroes with that melty buttery voice.
On the next thing, to you, what is the current thing wrong with AAA game design? Or just in general, what's the current thing wrong with AAA?
You don't need to be that big. Like, you don't need to invest that much money for nothing. Like, it's so Starfield, one of the more recent AAA ones that hit, right?
Right.
Like, beat the story and then come back for New Game Plus to experience even more. And it's just, overall, it's barren. There's cool stuff in there. There's cool things you can do, but everything doesn't have to be open world. Everything doesn't have to try to be the biggest thing ever freaking created. Less is more. Look at indie game recently was Kickstarter and then just recently released Sea of Stars. Short, sweet, to the point, concise, amazing soundtrack, amazing gameplay, and it didn't overstay its welcome. You don't have to spend $500 million or whatever it costs for Final Fantasy 16. I love that game. It's now made it into my top 5. But it didn't, come on, it's AAA and frame rate's choppy. For a while, if you turned a little bit, if you had motion sickness, hey, thanks for playing. You made Clive move one way and now you're puking in a bucket.
I'm just picturing in-game dialogue like, I'm hurt, Torgal.
It doesn't need to be that big.
Right.
Look at coming out here very soon. We have Star Ocean Second Story R, right? That's about to be re-released, so everybody finally gets to re-experience one of the best Star Oceans in the series, and Super Mario RPG. Right. Nintendo AAA churner, Super Mario RPG, it got the remake, but I guarantee you they didn't invest as heavily as they did in Tears of the Kingdom or any other mega AAA title that they do, and it's going to be enjoyable. You don't have to throw crap at the wall just because you have money.
Right.
Come on.
I'm not sponsored or anything, but if you are a Sea of Stars fan, there's a excellent documentary on the making of the game by the Escapist magazine. It's very much worth your time to watch.
Nice.
I will have to check that out.
We kind of got the rundown on exactly what's wrong with AAA right now, but I think about a game I actually picked up this week, Immortals of Avium, right? An EA original game, which is basically Call of Duty with wizards, and it's like a single player campaign game, and it's 11 to 12 hours, and you enjoy it. The fact that game came out amidst a release schedule that was stacked so far against it for full price, which is $70 nowadays, and of course they're just all like, oh yeah, the game didn't sell well and we laid off half of our staff. In terms of the bigness of just what games are striving to be, just why is it that I still go back and play Crazy Taxi? Why do I still go back and play all the games I used to play? And granted, those games were, technically MSRP or whatever, but I think people are getting so far removed from gameplay,
right,
that they are focusing solely on things in this game you can do everything. It's well, it's kind of like the Scribblenauts problem, where it's when you can make your solution Cthulhu eats everybody all the time, then why try an experiment? Why try and do anything else?
Well, no game can actually do everything. That's the other thing.
Right.
No, the answer is no. You cannot do everything.
I think what has been the idea of probability has supplanted the concept of engagement, and so people are oh, well, in this game you can do this and this and this, and it's like, okay, but is it fun? And more often than not, that answer is not really. It just takes up your time. Like, I think about, we prefaced this entire episode about the type of games that we love. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, oh yeah, like Tony Hawk 3, Crazy Taxi, like the old Sonic games and stuff. Games that I can just play infinitely until the end of time, because I love them so much, because the minute-to-minute immediate sensation of fun and gameplay is so honed to like near perfection that you can't put it down. Like, even I will say Sonic Frontiers is still a kind of a flawed game, but I picked up the controller just to play it for a little bit again, and suddenly I'm completing like 3 islands. It's like, right. Okay, there's something engaging and fun about just experiencing the game. And so when you have like, and I you're probably gonna get this from only me, I swear to God, the new God of Wars suck, because they don't understand what fun is, because they're much more interested in having this like incessant dialogue between all the characters to tell a story that you don't care about. And it used to be a game where like, oh yeah, by the end of the first level, because games used to have levels, you've skewered a massive Hydra head on the busted mast of a ship in the middle of a lightning storm, and that's actually exciting and fun. Or like, I'll give a most recent example, and I swear I'll stop talking. But like, I look at games so far that have come out this year, games that I have played, games I've enjoyed, retro stuff I've picked up, and still one of the hallmark Game of the Year contenders, probably a GOAT at this point, is Hi-Fi Rush. Because they just don't make that type of game anymore. No one does. And then suddenly, Tango Gameworks is like, here you go.
Yep.
Like, oh, so you could have done this the whole time. You could have made this game, you could have made games like this the whole time.
I mean, look at what happened with Baldur's Gate 3. When Baldur's Gate 3 released, and Larian was just literally like, you get the entirety of the game, no loot boxes, no this, boom, a game in totality. And then major freaking developers were just like, don't get used to this. That's not what your expectations would be. No.
Right. I've been using
Are we allowed
Tears
to
of
swear
the
on
Kingdom.
this?
Oh, yeah, you say whatever you want.
Fuck you, developers. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
Well, it's not really
Like,
the devs, I don't think. I think it's
Can
their
we say
bosses.
publishers?
It's the publishers.
Sorry,
You got
publisher. Like, come on. Like, you can give us a complete game. It may not be the best version, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, but legitimately a full game. You can load up, no internet connection, not have to worry about anything, and go and enjoy it. Like, come on.
Well, so I've been using Tears of the Kingdom as a good example lately, because they finished that game in 22 and it didn't release till 23, so they just took a year to polish it. And I think if more developers would do that, or the publishers would let them rather, you'd have much better games.
This is the one thing I'll say that might be a little bit contentious, but I get the idea that the average gaming playing public doesn't care.
No, and it's only something like 20% of people complete games anyway. Like,
I mean, look at the new Pokemon. That's the easiest example. That is still.
Well, they're Pokemon fans, and there's something wrong with them in the first place.
But I mean,
ouch.
Oof. In the latest one, you get a couple cool glitches. Jigglypuff floating, flying through the air. Oh, that's kind of cool. But then you get a stalagmite pooping out Pokemon endlessly. Right. Frame rate issues, lag, graphical issues, just all of a sudden I'm biking on this terrain and now, I'm through the world.
And now I'm Slender Man, yeah.
And they've flat out refused, basically said, go eat a dick to their fan base, and they know their fan base is going to be there. Like,
exactly.
Super poopy.
Guys, I only have 2 more questions for y'all.
Oh, God.
That's all I got left. I also want to say real quick that I have heard that version of Tom's Diner, and it is fantastic.
When he sings, you get pregnant, right?
Yeah, you do. My belly is extra swollen now. It's not just the beer. So, one of the things I want to let you know is, or not want to let you know, but I want to ask you, that is the beer talking. What's a game that not enough people talk about or even like know that it exists?
Know it exists. So it has to be like a good game or something like that, right?
It's something. I guess what I'm asking for. What's a hidden gem to you?
A hidden gem.
Yeah, so, something that you don't hear enough people talking about. The one that kind of comes up, I feel like, more in the indie podcast scene, and I just forgot the name of it. I feel very bad now.
James, do you have one? Because I might have to think about it, because I really want to know. Because in the recesses of my brain, I'm like, okay, how deep do I really want to go?
So I've got two. I have a modern one where people can actually experience it even on Xbox. So John, for you. And then I have a older one.
Okay, go ahead.
So the recent one, it's Fuga Melodies of Steel. It's within so shout out to our furries. You'll appreciate this. It's within the Tail Concerto Solo to Robo world.
Yes.
Essentially, you are this group of orphans who is kind of fighting against the Empire. And you've essentially acquired a giant mobile tank. So you're trying to fight the oppressors, et cetera, et cetera. But you can legitimately sacrifice the kids. It's horrifying to make the tank super powered. Please don't do that. Don't sacrifice your children, or do, your choice. But
so it's like Pyre. Okay.
That one, it doesn't get a lot of talking about. It was a very quiet digital release, and they actually released a second one here recently too. So you can experience both of those on modern consoles. And then a PS2, super sleeper, I don't care what anybody says, Steambot Chronicles.
Never even heard of it.
Hey, you asked for a hidden gem.
I did. That's what I want.
So you have mech combat, you have a pool minigame, you have gambling. Picture the most, if you've ever heard of Dokapon Kingdom, think that on steroids with eclecticness.
Okay.
And I see John over there perusing his shelf do I own one of these?
Well, while John is going through that, my two, real quick. It's Neon White, which might be my game of the year, to be honest, because our game of the year goes for what we reviewed this year. And it's just because the primary gameplay loop is so fun. I'm tossing it up between it and Tears of the Kingdom. And the other one is Disco Elysium. I don't feel like it gets the mainstream praise that it really deserves for its writing. But it's very good.
It's weird for me because I feel like my tastes are so weirdly esoteric that I don't know what classifies as a hidden gem versus just a game that only I have played.
No, it's a hidden gem to just you.
Okay, I'll give two, and the first one is going to be a game that came out for the Switch. It was published by Chucklefish, and it's called Pocket Rumble. Pocket Rumble is a fighting game in the vein of the games that came out on the Neo Geo Pocket Color back in the day, and I adore that game, and no one really plays it or has played it. And an honorable mention really quick on that same vein is Windjammers 2. That game came out, and I adore that game. Every time I play a Switch online with it, I am the only person online.
Oh, goodness.
It says online players 1, and it's me.
I actually didn't know Chucklefish made anything else outside of Stardew Valley.
Yeah, they're a publisher, and they've published other games. And so when I saw the trailer for that game, and I was just like, they made a game especially for me, just me. And I'm like, yes, I am buying that day one. As far as a retro game, this is going to be a weird one because I actually just recently picked it up to play it again. Mark Echo's Getting Up.
Okay.
What?
the game, the kind of semi-open world action game where you are a tagger and you have to go and put up graffiti and put up posters and sticker bomb stuff and shepherd fairies in it, and it's a freaking hood rat graffiti simulator where you have a mana bar. So yeah.
I have an honorable mention, and it came out literally last month.
Okay.
So, published by Netflix and Skybound Games.
Okay.
WrestleQuest.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna make a pitch to you, Slade.
All right.
Do you like wrestling?
You're gonna cut a promo right now?
Do you like wrestling? Do you like role-playing games? Or would you like to role-play as Randy Savage and be the cream of the crop?
You could just pull in Alex's voice from Gaming and Collecting right now if you wanted to.
Exactly. No,
You dare do a Macho Man impression in front of me? They ain't gonna fly around me, though, man.
so that I'm gonna give them big credit. There was a fatal error when it came to save states with that game, so they actually postponed the release date to fix that and then send it out in a complete package. So big shout out for doing something like that.
Good.
But it's literally an RPG with the golden era of wrestling. Your Randy Savages, your Hulk Hogan's. It's insane. Undertaker,
the mega powers.
the mega powers. So yeah, that game nobody's talking about. Play it.
Excellent. Well, I don't understand Netflix gaming in the first place. Like, anything about it. So
my theory behind that, with how successful Netflix is when it comes to streaming services, their market share, anything business related they touch generally turns to gold. I think we're going to get games that get more of that kind of Netflix treatment because they were a big part of that game being postponed to fix it. And if this is a first taste of that, I'm kind of here for it because they have the money to, like, we're talking like almost Microsoft level of money they can throw at the wall.
Right. Just trillions of dollars.
I am cool with you giving people completed, not broken video games.
Oh, absolutely. We just got to get the publishers on board with that. Now, I want to end this on a high for both of you with this question. What's your favorite thing about podcasting?
That you can say anything with impunity and not fact check, and it's just great. You can just put it out there.
Like all statistics that are made up, we can talk about anything.
I'd say truly, it just gives me an opportunity to talk to my buddy James about whatever crap that we want. It's just so much fun.
Aww, so sweet.
It's not only it's fun to put stuff out there and just see people interacting with our episodes, be it a listen or a comment here and there, but it's very rare that for this length of time you get to talk with one of your good friends. We'll see each other, like, we literally worked together for the longest time, and then I moved. Like, I am legitimately a 21-hour drive from where I was, and yet we've still been able to do this. We've still been able to, like, talk, keep connected. It's rewarding. And so many people, like, and our niche is video games, from the game club, from us, Gaming and Collecting, you name it, right?
Right.
We have a very defined niche that has become unbelievably mainstream courtesy of your Fortnites, your Overwatches, Call of Duties, etc. Like, we went from the early 2000s, oh, this nerd is a gamer, to now it's like, oh, do you play Fortnite too, bro? Here's my gamer tag.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
and
my God.
So many of those new people to gaming, they don't know about the Super Mario RPGs, the Half-Life 2s, the OG Counter-Strike. Like, they don't know, and like seeing the interaction and hearing people like interact legitimately. Somebody who listened to our episode when I was in Henry's store, John, had never played Sonic ever, and it was when we were talking about the top 10 Sonic games way back last year. I think it was March or April of last year, and legitimately picked up Sonic 1, Sonic Adventure, and one of the Game Boy Advance Sonics. Picked them up just to try them because they listened to our show.
That's awesome.
So freaking cool, you know?
One thing I'll also say, and this might get a little bit mushy, but like I am a newlywed man. Back in June, I got married to the love of my life, Giselle, and the entire reason we met, became friends, and eventually became husband and wife was because of video games. I started a Discord group, like almost. God, it feels like so long ago. It's like, I'll just say, like, Charity will be in the ballpark, I'll say like 10 years ago, whatever. It was to play Splatoon online and voice chat with people and meet people in the community. And sure enough, she joined the group, and then we started chatting, and then the rest is history. So the fact that people can meet and connect and converse and just share in a similar passion, so much so that you can put a ring on it, like that, I think is the power of stuff like that. So
that's awesome. Well, guys, I hate to tell you, I'm out of questions for you. But this is my favorite part of Between Two Pods, where the AMA gets in first. Is there anything you'd like to ask me?
Is Halo 5 your favorite Halo game?
No, I don't really like any of the Halos. I had a buddy of mine who was a GameStop manager. That's how I also ended up with the Fallout 4. That's the display they would hang from the ceiling.
Yep.
Yeah. He was like, "Would you want this?" And I was like, "Yeah, it looks cool. I'll have it."
Right next to Five Nights at Freddy.
Hey, the movie's coming out this year.
That's my guilty pleasure game, to be honest with you.
Wow, really? That was going to be my next question.
Is my guilty pleasure.
All right. Shoot, what else?
If you could see a genre of gaming completely removed from existence, puzzles, action adventure, RPG, why would you do it, and why has the fan base of that specific genre caused you to do it?
And if you say JRPGs, James is not allowed to get mad at you.
Well, it's not JRPGs. It's just Final Fantasy fans. No, I'm kidding. So, no. It would be the people who play nothing but battle royales. Because what I think they've done is, it's not. I don't know if it's them or the publishers. I don't really know who to blame, because it's the multiplayer only people. Because I used to play competitive Rainbow Six Siege for a long time, and it's just them. I think they're part of the problem. Is that publishers and the investors see all the money that things like skins sell for, CS:GO knives, that kind of thing, and they want to make that money. And so I think they're part of a overall larger problem. But yeah, if we could remove the multiplayer only games, would be where I would really put it to.
This just goes to show how time is cyclical, because we had the same conversation in the early 2000s when it was Unreal Tournament and Quake 3 Arena and Counter-Strike and all this stuff. So
yeah,
much like it's Ouroboros, we will continue to just eat our own tail.
Yeah, it'll come back around to them realizing, oh wow, single player games do excellent.
We're actually in, I think, a golden era where we're going to see that transition where people are just going to start making regular video games again.
I mean, I'm a JRPG sucker. We are in a JRPG renaissance. Of the few hundred that released this year, there's legitimately only 10 or 15 that are just god-awful equivalents to playing Panty Party.
I'll take your word for it. I've said before on our show that the only JRPG I do like is, it starts with the word Persona. If it doesn't have that in it, my interest is out of there.
That's a very fair point.
I
think Persona 4...
You basic.
Motherfucker.
Not really basic. It's just the soundtrack slaps so good, and
But hey, if you're gonna go
great.
soundtrack though, anything by Nobuo Uematsu or Yasunori Mitsuda, those guys make bangers.
Yeah.
I will keep my mouth shut. So, any last questions? You know what? If you weren't doing an interview podcast, what would you be talking about?
Ooh, actually, I got asked this last week 2 weeks ago now by Still Loading. I'd either be talking about anime or I'd be talking about music. It'd be one or the other.
Okay, immediate follow-up. Goated anime versus current favorite.
They're the same. It's Attack on Titan.
Wow.
Hang on, real quick, just because y'all can't see it because I'm sitting in it.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that'll do it.
So to the people who are only listening to this, he pulled down his Attack on Titan pajama pants and never mind.
There's a tattoo on my ass of Commander Ervin.
Yeah.
No, I have the Secret Lab Attack on Titan chair. It's honestly my favorite. I've just recently rewatched it for the 4th time with my girlfriend who's never watched anime before. And even on the 4th rewatch, it's mind-blowing the amount of foreshadowing and storytelling.
You can't dip your toe into Attack on Titan. Her first anime? Oh my God.
Yeah, very, very first one.
Oh, honey, what are these giant... Oh my God, they're eating them!
It's just play the gif of that guy getting his leg bitten off, my leg! Oh my God.
Old school
Ridiculous.
goat, Slayers. The Slayer series, one of my favorites. New school goat, that time I got reincarnated as a slime.
I
or
hear so many good things about it.
Isekais are overdone. Like, I love that we're randomly tangenting into anime. They're literally, it's like new anime, 5 new isekai. New anime, 5 new isekai.
I'm gonna say right now, I don't know if you've watched it, but I got reincarnated as a vending machine, and now I wandered the dungeon. It's actually good. It has no reason to be good, but it's genuinely.
It's
funny.
on the level. Did you ever watch How Heavy Are the Dumbbells I Lift?
I did, yes.
Macho's muscle message of the day. Like, so ridiculous. So, I mean, I love insane, over the top anime. Keijo, but ninja fighting bikini battler is all I can say.
Right.
Golden Boy.
There's, that's the thing. I started her with that. She's caught up now, and like, so where Attack on Titan finishes off, there's like a book left, and she like ran here into my office, went to my manga shelf, and like grabbed the last one. She's like, I just gotta know how it ends. I have to know.
It's all a dream.
And I'm like, good. I made a weeb. Fantastic. Now
You're part of the problem.
Next stop, Anime Expo. Hey, it was a good time.
I'm just reminded of the scene from Ted 2 where it's like, and now the actor playing the new Superman, and it's god dang it, what's his name? Frickin'
Henry
Jonah
Cavill?
Hill. No, Jonah Hill, and then Marky Mark's just like, fuck.
but yeah, it's one and the same answer. It's one of my favorites. It's up there. I did an episode with Bill and Alex on top 10 animes of all time. The second one is definitely for me JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. The level of stupidity never ceases to make me laugh. And then when you find things that are just JoJo references in the wild, it's really funny. So one of the stand
JoJo reference.
Yeah, one of the stand users has an ability called Heaven's Door, which is obviously a song reference for Guns N' Roses. But I was in the liquor store before a party the other day, and I saw a whiskey called Heaven's Door, and I just started laughing about it. My girlfriend's looking at me like I'm a madman.
What proof was that? What proof was that liquor? Because holy crap! If you're knocking on Heaven's Door, it's like 400 proof.
I don't remember what it was, but I was like, I can't spend $70 on a dumb gag for one night. It's like, I can't do it.
Can't or won't.
I won't.
It's a new
All
one.
right, go to GoFundMe, and then we'll make sure that happens.
It's a new one. It's one of those Netflix releases, which think what you will, but Bastard, with all of their heavy metal references, the Kingdom of Metallanica, and it's just ridiculous and over the top, all about metal, and it's hilarious.
I need to watch that with my wife because she is the one who's actually seen that and I haven't, and I'm like, yes, we need to watch it together.
Wait, you haven't seen that one yet? Oh wait, I forgot.
Like the classic one.
Oh, fair.
About to say, the only big Netflix anime I keep up with, obviously they did JoJo season 6 for whatever reason, but Komi Can't Communicate. I'm a big slice of life sucker. I really am.
Azumanga Daioh.
That was the classic, and Scott Pilgrim's coming out on my birthday, so I'm looking forward to that shit. So everybody buy me a present. Well, Netflix has already got me one.
So, since you asked us when it comes to podcasting, what was your biggest kind of trepidation, like fear, in starting a show? Like, what was the thing that almost held you back, but you were able to kind of move past?
Nothing, actually. So I came over from streaming on Twitch. I was a Twitch affiliate, and I came over from that to doing podcasting. So the way ours got started was that, so I have 2 co-hosts. They're both brothers, and they're both very unfortunately British. And that's all that left deserved. All right. But one of them reached out and said, hey, do you want to try this podcasting thing? It was still 2020. And I was like, yeah, I'll do a few episodes with you. We'll see how it goes. And, we're coming up on, last I checked him, also at time of recording, we have 120 episodes out between everything we do now.
Damn.
and it's like, oh, well, this is working out great. The numbers are pretty good. People interact. And like you said, when you see those interactions and people saying, hey, I really like this bit, or that was really funny, it makes you so happy, and that's what you want to see. And I haven't streamed in a long time, and I kind of prefer this, to be honest.
Wow. Well, all right.
Mainly because this is less stressful than streaming. I'm not trying to cross my eyes to look at chat while focusing on playing the game at the same time.
Mm-hmm. I think streaming also taps into a wholly different skill set. It's the kind of thing where you feel like you're on all the time and you can only get it right once. So if you miss your opportunity, there's no the idea of a live audience is a whole different ballpark,
Right. That's why I used to stream a lot of JRPGs, just because while I'm over there doing the mundane grind or whatever, it's very easy to look at chat and talk to them.
Or just come up with funny voices for the characters if this is one of the older ones where you could read.
Yeah.
I don't even have to say it. You should know that reference.
I was gonna say, just giving a Ghost a blowy Joey.
I mean, hey, well, speaking of Ghost, rumor mill from a leaker that is beyond accurate, we might be getting a part 3 to that game.
It's true.
I don't even know, and I don't want to know. Okay, so
Final Fantasy X-3, the modern edition.
This time, Pain is the only main character because people love goth chicks. Anyway,
this time he laughs as he's in her.
You just took it way too far. So when's wrap up?
I gotta go. Nina, don't. Bye.
It's whenever y'all run out of questions for me. That's when we wrap up.
What's your favorite candy? It's Halloween. What's your favorite candy? It's not Halloween. It's October. Whatever. But what's your favorite candy?
It's spooky month, right? Reese's Cups. But let me tell you something. If you haven't done this, do yourself a favor. Put them in the freezer for a bit before.
Hell yeah.
Nice and cold. Oh, a cold Reese's Cup? Hell yes.
Reese's Pieces the same way.
Yes. You get them cold. It's an improvement, and you can thank us later.
All right, you know what? We're going to have a little bit of fun with this.
Okay.
Favorite over-the-top, dummy, insane 80s action movie? I think I stumped him, ladies and gentlemen.
I think, you know why you stumped me? I don't watch movies.
Oh my God, he's just like me.
All right, so since you don't watch movies, if I can issue a challenge to you, if you are willing to accept
do you have
this,
one you'd recommend to me?
I have way too many.
Murder by
how
phone.
over the top are you wanting me to go? Are you wanting arm wrestling over the top?
You go as far as you want to. I
Stop
watch Velocipaster. I love bad movies, to be honest.
Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. Watch that one.
No. It's the one I subjected John to. Watch Commando.
You didn't subject me to it. We watched it together, and I was freaked out to learn that the guy who wrote the screenplay for that directed the Street Fighter movie.
I've got it here in my notes. It's with another. I had a movie review podcast on, which you can imagine how hard that was to do. And they have another one for me. So I'm putting that in my list of things to do for movies to watch.
I mean, I could always recommend Final Fantasy Spirits Within if you want to gouge your eyes out.
I mean, it started with Final Fantasy, so, I already would.
I'm going to go curl in the fetal position now.
All right. So now that this is only Games with John, cool, we can plug the show again.
Well, it's going to be Games with John for a month.
We'll have to talk about that. Don't show them how the sausage is made. Just show them the delicious sausage. But yes, so you can find us as Games with Jon and James. I really don't know how to sell us. We're across all sorts of different socials. We're on TikTok. We're on Instagram. James primarily runs all of those. You can find us on Twitter because it will always be Twitter at Games with J and J. I've been trying to be more active on there. I am never going to call it X because X is never going to give it to you as long as it comes from Elon. And other than that, we're coming up on our 2nd year anniversary, so we're preparing a little something special for that. So I'll even put it out here. Well, this episode's going to be out in December, so it'll be way past then. But I was going to say, send your questions. We'll probably send out on our socials, or had sent out on our socials to ask us questions. So it's funny trying to play with the idea of time as you're living it. You know what I mean? But
Right.
yeah, and I think that's my long. What's the opposite of a preamble? A post-amble? What is that?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. I think I couldn't have said it better myself, even though I did it.
Well, thank you guys so much for being on. I do appreciate your time, and I hope everybody really enjoyed this episode because I had a great time.
I say we live to entertain. That's what we do.
Yep. Another day, another dollar, another 500 fans converted to JRPGs.
Just wake up, light a cigarette, put the clown paint on, and head out the door.
Actually, I saw the funniest video ever. It was some dude who was skipping his workout, and a yoked out Ronald McDonald was chasing him, and his face looked like a cross between serial killer / I'm going to break you Arnold face, and the dude is just literally face doesn't move, and is just chasing this guy who's like terrified and running, and the dude like knocks himself out on a stop sign, and you could tell that was not part of this little scripted short video.
Oh.
So it's even funnier. It's kind of like
It's not that dude always getting chased that's like double cheeked up, is it?
No, not him. Are you talking
Okay.
Are you talking the dude that like was strapped to a semi, and you see people like it's wide load on the semi, and you just see his butt?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna he's not indie whatsoever anymore. Frankie LaPena went to school for what John and I do, like video and broadcast journalism, and no networking with bigwigs, no nepotism, no nothing. The most viewed person on TikTok, and all of his content is original. Mad respect for that dude. Like, he'll do it. You'll see other people do it. Like, he did the wide load thing, then a bunch of women with big booties, they did the wide load thing. It just didn't have the same effect. You know what I mean? I mean, him riding his bike on camera in Zoom during COVID, and then it falling over, and people are just like, what? Dude was awesome. Like, mad respect for that guy.
It's and I'm it really says your content, right? When I'm like, hey, dude who's double cheeked up running away, and you know exactly what I mean.
The algorithm knows. It's hearing us talk right now. Listener, be sure to mute when I say dog food, dog food, dog food, dog food.
Like, I think it was a UFC fight. Like, he's getting his butt kicked, climbs the fence, and then launches himself butt first into fighter and knocks him out with the cheeks.
It's got clapped. The cheeks clap you.
It's definitely a clap, let me tell you.
If you see that dude's got a badonka damn.
Now that we're just kind of rambling at this point, I want to tell a joke that I made earlier today. I was having a conversation with a coworker about like how Wendy's changed their fries and how they're like naturally cut, naturally seasoned sea salt fries. Now at Wendy's, you can still see some of the skin on the fries, and I'm just like, they completely missed an opportunity to have #uncircumcised. You can taste the difference.
Comes with cheese and everything.
Loaded, fully loaded.
I hate the cheese remark. Oh, God.
But yeah, so I just had to pat myself on the back for that one, because good job, me. I won today.
Very good one. Do you have a favorite dad joke between the two of you?
It's
I already.
I was gonna say, an Irishman walks into a bar.
Okay.
All right, great. That's all we needed.
That's the joke.
James, do you have a favorite dad joke?
I'm trying to think. So there's a thing on YouTube. It's just shorts. It's a bunch of dads sitting together, just doing dad jokes back and forth. And I'm trying
guys
to.
that sit on the pier.
Yeah,
Just make jokes.
and they try it like.
I have. Do you have it?
How do you follow Will Smith in the snow?
I don't know how.
You follow the Fresh Prince.
I'm happy we were quiet for that.
Yeah,
It's a dad joke. I
gravitas.
don't expect a laugh.
So to end us off, I have one for the both of you.
Oh boy, here we go.
Did you know that it's illegal to laugh loudly in Hawaii? you must keep it to aloha.
I hope that was imperceivable on the waveform, because that was my soul leaving my body.
Well, thank you guys again for being on the show. I really appreciate it. I hope everybody goes and checks out y'all's show. It's a lot of fun, to be honest. Y'all have great conversations. And I will catch y'all in the next episode, which will be on Christmas Day, believe it or not.
Oh my God.
I don't know what's being planned then, because it's October 3rd now.
Our annual Halloween,
people.
Our annual Thanksgiving episode live on Christmas.
We'll figure it out, but catch y'all in the next episode. Goodbye, everybody.
Y'all take care, everybody. Peace out.
Peace, love, and